Welcome to the day after. Oops, they did it again. 50 basis points yesterday. Will they do it again? Yes. Expectations are most likely when? December 7th. I was fortunate enough to be on an event where Benjamin Tal, one of the top economists in Canada and advisor to the government in fiscal policies, housing, and all those things, was speaking. His expectation is that the Bank of Canada interest rate will be at 4%. So that basically means one more increase of 50 basis points in December. And after that, it should level off unless the government deems that the inflation is still not curbed and they need to increase it further. That will obviously trigger more increases of the Bank of Canada rate. Once dust is settled, according to Tal, the expectation is that the Bank of Canada rate will settle around 3% and basically 1% decrease. That'll be good. Will it happen? We hope so. Time will tell, as nobody knows. $1 million question is, will this actually help curb the inflation? Again, we shall find out. What does this mean for you? Well, if you're a landlord, it's good news. And the reason is good news is because the rental prices continue to increase. Does the housing continue to decrease for the next year? Only time will tell. But we are seeing opportunities come to the market for purchases, for buying opportunities are there. Okay, like also, I just said rents are going to be most likely increasing. Perfect opportunity to go into the market if you're an investor, okay, and have ability to purchase a rental property. Is it cheaper to buy today versus a year ago? Yes. Guess what? Additional benefit. You get to save on a land transfer tax. Who would have thought? However, today's buyer has a higher interest rate. And does the lower purchase price offset the higher rate? The answer is yes, in the vast majority of the cases. Okay, so that's something to consider. The other advice that I have is avoid payment shock. So your mortgage is coming up for the renewal in the next 12 months. You're in for a bit of a shock. Your rate is most likely double from what you had before, which means your payment will increase. What can you do right now? Start making additional payments. Use your prepayment privilege and start increasing your payment. Not only will you be paying your principal faster, you'll be reducing amount of the interest that you're paying because once you apply the prepayment, the interest calculation is done afterwards. So yeah, you're paying down your house faster. But the biggest benefit is the fact that if you start increasing your payment now, when that renewal comes, you're not going to have a huge shock when you see what your payment could be at that time. Not nice. Increase the payment right now. How much? It's individual preference. I would start with $100. If you're doing biweekly, do increase $100 by week if you can. Whatever amount you can to put towards it, it's beneficial. It will help. Please do it. Avoid the payment shock. Not a nice thing to have. What else can I advise you? Take a look at your personal budget. Plan accordingly for the next year or so. Does your budget allow positive cash flow? Each month, do you need to cut or reduce expenses? Something to consider. Do you need a cable? Major purchases? Can you reduce unnecessary spending? Most important things to consider. Do you have growing debts? Does it make sense to consolidate? If your mortgage is up for renewal again within the next 12 months, you're considering refinancing, strongly consider short-term, 1 or 2 year rate terms. It does not make financial sense to go for a 5-year fixed at today's rate. At some point, rates will settle, and you're not sure when, but they will settle. But short-term rates are a really good solution in the rising rate environment. Again, if you need any help, if you want to discuss your mortgage situation, if you want to discuss any of those scenarios, please do reach out. It's a free service. I'll be more than happy to review your mortgage statements and come up with a solution. If you need to refinance, if you need to consolidate that, now is the time to do it because the values are still good. And please click on the button below that has a rate update, a little bit more with examples and what to do.